Hey, it's the Chief bonding with board games and RPGs. We're live, baby. We're live with the Chief's vlog. Now, I'm going to do it the same way I always do my vlogs. The way Kickstarter, we'll talk about Kickstarter. The way the lives work on YouTube is there's a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. We'll hit those, then I'll come back and I'll talk about them. So, of course, we're going to talk about Kevin Crawford's. This is his Cities Without Number. But right now, if I'll share the screen here, we will also talk about his Ashes Without Number. This should be bigger. There we go. So you can see Ashes Without Number is already up in 2 days. It's made $160,000. Kevin Crawford, way to go. You can see this beautiful cover page of a city devastated and what looks like a double-walled enclave that is just trying to hold on. A little bit of blood stain maybe in the ashes and without number. You can see there's already 2,373 backers. So very quick, these are the deluxe books. We'll talk more about this in a little bit, and I'll show a little bit more. We'll see the story here in a second. Tom Green is in. Hello. Type in, hello, sir. Did I get it in? Yes. All right. If that'll pop up. Okay, there we go. See? All right, so we're going to be talking about that. We'll come back to me full here. When we do that, I'll also mention, so I'm using Cities Without Numbers. I always want to put the S on there. Cities Without Number. I'm using it because it's got a whole world building section. And a little sneak peek just for you guys. I'm going to start using the rules system in here as well to run the RPG I'm doing with Neuralink, which is the first cyborg steps that are happening in real life, but I advanced it 4 years into the future. So we'll talk more about Cities Without Number. If you're not familiar with the numbers, let me see if I can pick. These are all the deluxe books. So these are stitched. They've got ribbons in them. Nice hard covers. You can see how thick they are. This is the second edition or the revised edition of Stars Without Number. Sci-fi, space, helps you design solar systems and planets within those and different types of species and aliens. I would love to get into this at some point in time. I've read it, just played through it. We've got Worlds Without Number, which is the fantasy side of things, but it's as if this fantasy society is the seventh and it's on our planet, I think is what the premise is, but that our society and 6 others, similar or different or weird or alien, have come before it. So all the magic and the things you find down below are all things from the ancient past, which is maybe our present. Ooh, kind of a neat concept. I loved it so much I had to go pick up their atlas of the same system, which just goes into all this different beautiful map detail. So I am loving what Kevin Crawford is doing. Sorry, we're going to spend more time on that in a second. I will talk about Free League just sent me their Hostile Waters, which is great because season 3 will be based on these little these water tugboat gunship things as we move into Warsaw. I have the first edition of, I forget what it's called, but it was basically, this will encompass it. So we'll be talking about this. I will do an unboxing of this in the future. Obviously, I haven't done that yet. Set that off to the side. I did just do a preview of Hands in the Sea, which is a war game with a deck building aspect. The preview and the Kickstarter starting in about 20 days. Then you can see Purple Haze. I did a preview on. Both of these are from Phalanx Games. I did a preview like 2 years ago on Purple Haze. It's Vietnam, United States Marines, it's a board game, war game with a role-playing, story-developing campaign chapter system. I'm reading the rules on that right now. So this is cool. This is a combination of kind of where I'm at. Well, I'm starting to go heavy RPG. This is bringing my love of board games and RPGs together. My unboxing of that's like over 2,000 already. So go look at that. All right. We're going to circle back Let's come right back over to the screen share. We'll come over here. Hold on a second. Is that a Purple Haze shirt? I wondered when. So there's a Chinese company. I've got to go back full screen now, Ref. There is a Chinese company called HOO. I don't know. I don't know. But multiple Chinese companies are doing these screen printed shirts. You guys know I love the screen printed shirts, the manga shirts. I call it visual whimsy. And they put these out, and I saw this. Hold on. I had to pick it up. Look at all this action going on. Woo! Hello. Hello. It's now a fashion show, baby. I've been wearing this on my whiskey show as well. And of course, my boonie hat, which I actually wore on duty for one training thing we did down in Fort Polk. But enough of that. So yes, I wanted to have, they've got a bunch of World War II airplanes and stuff. And there's a Corsair shirt I have. You've seen it in some of my videos. But yeah, so that's kind of the theme I'm going on here. Let's come back because I'm easily distracted. Ashes without number. So again, you can see already fully funded. We're going to scroll down because what you'll get here is the story. And what you hear from Kevin Crawford is that he's a one-man show. And he puts his books out. He breaks down. And sorry, we've got a lot of rain coming in, so you may hear my sump pump kicking on. My apologies. But he covers in detail how the world building is going to work. I'm going to just cover real quick. You'll be able to do zombie apocalypse. You'll be able to do a nuclear apocalypse. You'll be able to do a climate apocalypse. You can do a Mad Maxian, whatever caused that. So there's all these different types of world-ending events, near and far. I think there's even an alien invasion. Yeah, that's in there, like War of the World stuff. So that's built into your world building. Of course, the rules side is in there as well. I'm not exactly sure all that's going on there. Let me come down to this. And so he's got all the stories facing the end. Just going to scroll through. Ashes without number. What's really cool here, so he's part of like the OSR movement, the old school Renaissance movement. I love, for example, my Neuralink. It's cyber technology that's here now. There's the first patient, Nolan, who's paraplegic, that can move a cursor just by thinking about it in his mind. That intrigued me. Lex Friedman had them, all the Neuralink people on the show, and I wanted to do an RPG on it. So I started it up using Maze Rats just as my real light system. That's Fantasy Ben Milton, but I was going to use that as I ran the RPG for Neuralink. But I wanted to do some world building, so I pulled out my Cities Without Number. It was so good that I ended up doing a video on it. You can go look at my playlist. By the way, look at my playlist. The playlists are a great way for anybody to go see all the stuff I have and how I have it collated. But I did this, and what was really interesting is the show has taken off. Let me share. I think I can share one more item here if I can remember where it is. Can I share it? Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm going to share this. Yes. All right. Let me share that. All right. So this is episode 0 for my Neuralink video. The very interesting part is you will see right around day 31. So it starts off, it just really starts to go. It was looking like it's going to be one of my best role-playing, actual play solo games that I was going to be putting out. It kind of was going up nice. It even picks up a little bit. You see it going from about 470 up to 660. And then at 666, odd number, it flatlines. You can see that flatline trend, and now it gets one view every few days. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'll take that off. I guess we can look at it this way here. You can see, let me come back to me. So I am having a ball with this show. I have a pretty good idea of why it suddenly flatlined. Um, I never get thousands of views with these role-playing games anyway, but all my other episodes have just flatlined as well. So it's a political season. That's all we'll say. I'm just into the cyberpunk Neuralink and the setting I have with Gomer and Jonah, and using the cities without number to make the world. I'm going to keep doing it because it's fun for me, but something definitely got turned off. So it just went flatline, baby, flatline. which is fine. But if you want to find some of my stuff, you're going to have to go to my playlist and look at my playlist and then pick it up. And I've done some weird stuff. At some point in time, I want to go back to the shamanic clinician and use a new rule set, maybe even one of these Crawford rule sets, because that whole thing was about kind of like a mind trippy, mushroomy kind of a clinician that is able to like mentally link in or go to some spirit realm in order to help people with their trauma. I wanted to reach out and do something just bizarre. And oh yeah, that one's bizarre, but it needs a more robust rule system. So at some point in time, I'll return to that. So I got some weird stuff out there, trust me. But I'm going to continue to do the board game stuff as well. So while we're here, Twilight 2000, I'll continue to play. Season 3 is going to be the Volga and our intrepid, some of them heroes, some of them sadists, trying to get to Warsaw, which has been eradicated with some nukes, to get bullion, gold, out of Warsaw, back onto kind of a tugboat gunship, and then hopefully get back to Gniezno, where we had the big battle. So season 1, which went on and on, long series. I still get a lot of views on that. There was a big battle scene that went on there. Season 2 was all like a road trip and didn't get as much views. I think the road trip seemed to be lost and meandering. I still enjoyed it. And the next one will be a water trip. So that is some of that with what's coming. Let's see, what else do I have? Hands in the Sea, like I said, if you don't know anything about Hands in the Sea, it's deck building. So there's plenty of deck builders out there, but this combines a war game with a board and pieces, and then you drafting in cards with the hope of enacting different strategies. It's kind of like a big play box, because you can practice, I'm going to block off shipping, or I'm going to do ship sieges, or I'm going to do all kinds of land combat. So you can play around with that and just have a ball. Let's see. We're going to circle back to, let's circle back one last time, and then we'll just open it up for any questions that are here. Not to this. Sorry. I want to come over to, I have to go over to this. I got to go over to this. I got to go over to this, and then boom. So we will talk about what's going on with Ashes Without Number. So I even teased that this was coming out. So you can see right here, Ashes Without Number is built on the same sturdy old school game system as its sister games, the Without Number line. So you have fantasy, which is Worlds Without Number, sci-fi, Stars Without Number, cyberpunk, Desperation, Cities Without Number. The game within these pages is built to interface smoothly with all these resources. The old school framework also allows easy importation of other OSR games and content to help flesh out your own campaign. Kevin Crawford's books are designed to make your game mastering easy. The rules that are laid out in the chapter walk you through piece by piece. I would hit one sub chapter and go, yep, I totally know how to do this. I would hit the next phase of that chapter and go, oh, that's interesting. The way he would break down how you're going to create a scheme, and then how the schemes you're designing just enough for that next campaign, and then you've got a lot of room. You're not over architecture for your world. You're designing just enough so that you have hooks and missions and options so that the players can pick and choose what they want, and you're able to pivot as you play, which is what I do. If you see my live Knave 2s that are out, I don't do any prep. So I'll get in there with Never Fear 1911, and we maybe have had an email like after the last episode where I always ask, what do you want to do? He'll say, I really want to develop, my character's looking, he's selfish and he's looking to develop his own magical skills. Got it. And then I know what my character wants to do, but when we drop in, there's an idea, but then the story just goes in all kinds of different directions using Mythic. I call it exploratory story, and I love it, and it's a niche. So for those of you that love what I'm doing, those solid souls, please put the word out. I know it's never going to be huge, but it's a blast, and the more people we can attract in, the better. More on this. So you can see, but at its heart, Ashes Without Number is shaped around the same system, neutral. I always mess up the Latin. Sine nomine, tools that have won the other Without Number games such a warm place in the hearts of working GMs. It really is a book that's designed to make your GMing easier and intuitive and flexible and colorful and entertaining, fun to develop, fun to have at your table, and fun to unveil for your players. So I won't go into all this stuff here, but the beginning again, as before, he goes in and explains his process. One of the last things I'll cover, which is just, I've never met Kevin, but I like him as a person just based on his risks and challenges. He tells you that he's had 12 prior Kickstarters, and all these projects have successfully funded. But he tells you that he has a plan. So this project will be considered to have failed if all rewards are not completed and dispatched within 1 year, and within his proposed deadline. If that occurs, the following steps will be taken. Now, he tells you he's had 12 prior ones, and they've all either come off on time or early. But he talks about refunds, and he talks about shipping what he has and the updates you'll get monthly. My favorite part is, in the unfortunate case of my unanticipated death, I regret to say that even these steps, the ones that are above, how you'll still get what you can get, will be impractical because he'll be dead, as my heirs will be in no position to carry them out. I am in sound physical and mental health, fortunately, but accidents do happen, and sometimes those accidents preclude effective refunds. So I doubt any of that's going to happen, but I love that it was in there. Usually this is some boilerplate language where it's just like, yeah, we'll get it to you, refunds are offered. This is a one-man show. So he's letting you know if he dies, it will die with him. But as you see, he's in sound physical and mental health. So back up to the top, Ashes Without Number, a game for after the end. Kevin Crawford, already fully funded. It's well past. He only wanted to get 40, or he needed 40,000 for it to be funded. He's at 160,000. I'm going to make a guess. That this is going to land in about 300,000. I hope so. I think it's the right area, the right time. And what's cool is I've even seen some people on the sidebar that they don't mind apocalyptic. I love apocalyptic. It's definitely it's what I loved in the 80s. But he's also got a horror little genre. And I would guess, not to throw any hard stuff at him while he's in the middle of his apocalyptic campaign, but I would bet in a year he might even have his horror without number or whatever. So enough of that. We will come back to me. Oh, and I remember. So the Broken Empire, Trevor Duvall's campaign ended. just shy of 500,000. I'm sure in his after, what do they call it when there's extra funding, like in the months afterward. There's no doubt he'll get over 500,000, $500,000. It's a success. He's going to get the Sim Light gaming system. I have nothing like it, which is what drove my interest toward it. I love percentile die roll systems, hence Mythic is very nice for me. But once he gets that out, not only will, of course, Trevor Duvall has Me, Myself, and Die. He's so good. He's a voice actor or an actor in general, but he's very famous for his voice acting. And he will be supporting the Broken Empire with all kinds of supplements to come. So we are living in wonderful times, wonderful, wonderful times with all of this great goodness. I darn near want to retire now instead of 4 years because I could just game more. But hopefully I'll have another good 25 years or more after retirement. And I plan to continue gaming and wearing crazy, funky shirts of Huey's flying in Vietnam era. Any questions that anybody has? I'm at 21 minutes. I try to keep the vlogs around about 30 minutes or so. Let's see. Do I have anything else? No, I think we're good. The whiskey show I'll talk about, for those that don't know, Scotch Test Dummies. We're just about ready to break 25,000 subscribers. So that's cool. My best friend, co-host, and my partner on the streets, who I've been through all kinds of things with, just got married, and he's going to be moving to Tampa. So it's slowing the whiskey show down, but that might mean more time for the board game and RPG channel. So we shall see. I even got a third channel that's been waiting in the wings. I've started interviewing retirees that so I can catch their police stories, from the 80s, sometimes beyond, and pick up some of that history that's out there. So, and we'll see. I just haven't had the time to do that. And part of me almost wants to do that after I'm retired. But if I'm interviewing retirees, it's not my story, it's theirs. So that is part of it. I think that is it. Ref, I see you're still in here, and no more new comments, which is totally fine. I've got my live West Marches campaign continues tomorrow. We've been at it for, is it almost a year and a half? I think it is. We did just lose our first person. We have 6 people. And of course, with my West Marches, not everybody has to be here. As long as there's 2, I'll run it. And we've had a couple where there's only been 2. But I've had some where I've had all 6 here. But we did have one guy that just let me know, hey, I've kind of lost interest. So we have our first casualty to the campaign. And that is fine. Because we picked up one other person that's been coming all the time as well. So that's been fun. Just like a nod toward my role-playing side, I'm a player in a D&D. They're mostly one-offs, but one-shots, but we might be doing a campaign. So I'm a player in that, which I like. It gives me that aspect. I'm just playing a really rough and tough female barbarian. That's right. Narjwa. She's from a desert people, and she is tough. But and then of course I run all my solo and co-op shows like The Walking Dead and the Twilight 2000 and my Neuralink. But then I do a lot of gaming with my son. He doesn't want to do a show. I asked him, please do a show. And he was like, nope, he doesn't want to be on the show. And then I'm even doing Tales from the Loop with my 81-year-old mother, and it's been awesome. So I think that is it. I will wrap up here. Chief, bonding with board games and RPGs. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Please don't forget, go take a look at Ashes Without Number. Great system. If you haven't been exposed to Kevin Crawford's work and you're a player or really a GM, you're going to love it. I was blown away. I'd thumbed through all the books, loved the artistic and the rules set, but I wasn't sure, and I hadn't taken any deep dives. And then during doing the Neuralink world building, captivated. I just kept going, man, Kevin, great work. Chief, bonding with board games and RPGs. we'll sign off right as we come up on 25 minutes. See you guys. Bye. Have fun.